Hi, good evening. Welcome to episode 2 of the Ballin Sisters. I've got my sister with me, and today we are going to be discussing the transfers for Manchester United. So, getting into the topic, sister, Manchester United, one of the biggest club in Europe, 20 times EPL champions. They've had the best of teams over the years, but since 2013, it's been kind of downhill. They've come up a little bit, then again. Now, in the past 2-3 seasons, there's been a lot of transfer talks which have been going around. It happened, it didn't happen. So there have been a lot of situations, and currently also there's a lot of transfer talks which have been happening. So, what do you think with the kind of sources you have? You've got better sources than what I have in Manchester. So, what do you think? Where is Manchester United heading for this season and the coming season? I believe it's going to be a very important one for Manchester United.
Right, absolutely right, sister. And based on the kind of information I am getting, I think in Manchester it's the same old story, which it has been for the past few years now, post Sir Alex. And in terms of the transfer target, so again, the entire epicenter is on Ed Woodward, and most of the time in the Sir Alex era, it was in a good way. In the transfer market, every time United fans seemed very confident about their transfer targets. However, that case has not been the same since he left. So again, the man in scrutiny under a lot of pressure now is Ed Woodward, especially with the kind of improvements the likes of Chelsea, the like of Manchester City and Liverpool have done over the past few weeks now. So United definitely needs to strengthen up. So in terms of what you correctly mentioned about the current form of the team, so definitely in terms of the form, you can't question that Manchester United were the informed team post the restart with the acquisition of Fernandes, providing some sort of impetus to Paul Pogba and kind of rejuvenated him. And United have stepped up their transfer game of late with the likes of Fernandes, Van Bissaka, Harry Maguire. And while Ed Woodward's reputation hasn't been rehabilitated, the signs are good. But I think they are looking for more long term now. Because on the pitch, if you see the attacking trident of, say, Martial or a Greenwood, the options are really, really good. But in terms of their bench strength, again, it's the same old issue. If I talk about Maguire, I think he has not lived up to his price billing, 80 million pounds, and with so many high profile errors, you don't expect that of a Manchester United centre back. I think a left sided centre back would be ideal who can give company to Harry Maguire. I don't think Lindelof is doing justice to a traditional Manchester United centre back role. In terms of the fullback positions, I feel that Aaron Van Bissaka, Luke Shaw, I think that position is quite set with the likes of Brandon Williams and on the left hand side and on the right hand side, some of the youth academy players which United have got. So I think that area looks a bit sorted. If they can add a good one centre back who can partner Harry Maguire, I think that would be really doing good for Manchester United in the coming few years. In terms of the goalkeeping, and in goalkeeping, I would say that goalkeeping department has been something which over the past, I would say, so many years for Manchester United fans, it's not been an area of concern, especially with David De Gea grabbing Man of the Season awards for 3 seasons in a row. However, with the last couple of seasons, his form has dipped a lot. So I believe Dean Henderson could be a prospect for a new number one in the next season or so. It's just a matter of time now. I don't think so. There is any question about his capabilities. Dean Henderson has proven himself really well in Sheffield United. So I don't think so. Goalkeeping department, there would be a lot of concern for United in terms of the transfer market, and especially they have a good number two in terms of Sergio Romero, which as per my liking and as per the liking of some other renowned minds in football, I think he has been playing a lot less in Manchester United colours than he should be, because I think United has been given way more chances to David De Gea. I think he should also be allowed to prove himself just like the others in the back line. So coming on to the areas wherein the front areas in front of the centre backs and in front of the defense line. So ahead of the back four, Nemanja Matic offers stability and leadership, and his positional acumen can only make up for his physical decline for so long, because he's growing old. He has the like of Paul Pogba alongside him. There is another option of Fred, but it doesn't seem right looking United in that particular role, because if I talk about Nemanja Matic, he has been performing very well over the past couple of seasons, but I think age is catching up on him, and United needs kind of a replacement for Nemanja Matic. Can Fred fulfill his role? I doubt, but Fred is a multi-dimensional player. But again, we again talk about a person who can have a good partnership with Paul Pogba. So I think on that front, United requires some new transfer targets, especially in the market, not just focusing on the the current hype around Jadon Sancho. Yes, he's a great player, but I think United is struggling to find replacements in other key areas as well. And Nemanja Matic area is definitely one of the one which we can really talk about in length, because I think that area is going to cause a lot of problems for United in the coming few years if they don't look at it in a very well organized manner. So I would say in terms of Matic's replacement, and right now United is not linked with these players, but I think we have a lot of budget players also in the market. Not We don't have just like a Jadon Sancho or Jack Grealish in the market. And this is just because why I'm touching base on this topic is because most of the English media and also media across the Europe, they have been talking about these prime transfer targets. However, in the post-COVID world, we all know about the financial constraints of the clubs. So I think there are a lot of other transfer targets which I'm going to really put my focus on, especially in these areas. So I talked about in Nemanja Matic area. There's a player from AZ Alkmaar in Dutch league, and his name is Toon Koopminers. So what exactly this player has offered over the past couple of seasons in AZ is that he's just 22 years of old, 22 years old, and the kind of I think this youth and exuberance Ole is looking for. I think Tune can definitely look at that, especially in terms of his performance in the Dutch league. You can't compare it with the Premier League, but he has really done well for AZ. He's a defensive midfielder by preference, but he has filled in as an ably good centre back as well. So it shows that his defensive credibility is not at all in question. He is positionally aware as well, and he has a good left foot as well in terms of his performance in big games. So I recently watched an AZ game against Ajax, and he was the man of the match in that. Apart from that, there is another 26-year-old called Dominic Kor. He's basically from the Norwegian league, again a league which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be well aware of, and he's also a youth product which I think he can target going forward. His interceptions, his rate of tracking back has been exceptional over the past few seasons, and I think these are the budget transfers also which United can target going forward, because right now, as we talked about initially in the once we started off with this session, was that it's not just about buying players, it's about buying players for the future as well, buying players for the bench strength as well. There is one more called Ibrahim Sagnare, and he's basically again from the League One. And what exactly he has been offering is that he has a stature of a Paul Pogba. He's 6 feet two. The kind of credentials which he has is similar to what Paul Pogba has. Again, my question about his pairing up with Paul Pogba, and I think that is one point wherein Manchester United fans have been really frustrated over the past few seasons, because if I talk about Paul Pogba, he is exceptional midfielder when he wants to be. So I watched them the other day against Sevilla, and Sevilla, with no disrespect to them, Sevilla is a top-rated club themselves. But a player who has played in a Champions League final with Juventus, who has been playing for such a regular time with Manchester United, he should not be bullied by the likes of Sevilla midfielders. So that is one thing which I think the management from Manchester United and also the board, they would be a bit frustrated. The fans definitely are. Whenever I talk to a Manchester United faithful, they are always concerned about who can partner Paul Pogba in the midfield, and I think those questions still linger on. But definitely, the answer to this entire cask of our discussion is that we need a particular person who can just partner Paul Pogba in that particular key area. Otherwise, again, it's going again. the full circle for Manchester United. They'll again go for somebody like a Fred who didn't perform uh, based on the kind of rumors which we were hearing initially from him coming out of Shakhtar that he's an exceptional player. He can definitely be, but the position I think is not suitable for him. Coming to the other areas and the most renowned areas around the right wing position for Manchester United. Right now, it is occupied by Mason Greenwood. But if we talk about how Mason Greenwood has played, he's still a youngster. He's 19 years of age. He's more of a striker. Sometimes I even find him better than Rashford in terms of finishing. But if you need somebody from a right wing position, I think that person should be a bit versatile. One of the names which is coming in my mind, and again, apart from Jadon Sancho, which is much hyped right now in the media, is of Calvin Stengs. So Calvin Stengs is another Dutch league player. He's again from AZ Alkmaar, and he has been quite consistent over the past few seasons. He's also 21 years of age. So right now, if I talk about the entire philosophy of uh, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he is really looking for youthful players who can actually go and play for Manchester United for few years down the line. I think he's just trying to emulate the class of 99, although some things can't be emulated. But I think his intent is that one again. So I think just like I talked about the right wing position, we have Jadon Sancho. Obviously, he's a world class player. We all know about it. However, what I'm hearing, and right now these are my sources. They've actually told me that this entire discussion around Jadon Sancho staying in Borussia Dortmund, I don't think so that that's going to stop Manchester United from pursuing him even further. I think this is a statement given by Dortmund just so that they can make sure the price is not reduced, because it was very evident that Manchester United were not willing to pay 120 million for Jadon Sancho. And obviously with United now out of Europa League, I believe now those frailties have been even more exposed, that they don't have a right wing position which can be occupied by a very versatile, a trickery kind of a player, which once Cristiano Ronaldo was. So right now, the sporting director of Borussia Dortmund, Michael Zorc, he has actually insisted again. He has come out in the press again a couple of days ago that he's staying. However, I don't think so that this is going to stop United. Right now, the current situation, as per my sources, that this entire negotiation is in a deadlock, with Manchester United looking at some options like Douglas Costa from Bayern Munich, and also he's United are also after Coman. And these are possible rumors going on in the football market right now, and I feel that still United might pay a hefty amount for Jadon Sancho, because I think it's more about the reputation of Ed Woodward and the reputation of Manchester United now. So it's like it's so evident in the market that these players are being targeted, that if now United come back empty-handed, it will not do good to their reputation as a supreme giant in football, especially in the football market world. However,
So I
yeah,
wanted to digress a little bit from the transfer
yeah,
talks. I don't think so. I think so it's actually related. When we talk about Ed Woodward being the epicenter when we started this conversation, do you think Manchester United really requires a director of football? I wanted your thoughts on it. Maybe because as we have in almost all the clubs these days, that's the position of a director of football, I believe, has become a kind of a prominent position
right.
these days. So I just wanted to know what are your thoughts on it before we jump onto a different club altogether for transfer talks.
Right. So I think, sister, you're absolutely right in terms of the football director right now, the current situation. Most of the top clubs, they have a good footballing brain as their a football director. However, if I talk about Manchester United, I think that position has been vacant for far too long for all the United faithfuls to be happy about. I think again, if we talk about football director, director of football, or most of these terms are quite interrelated in most clubs, but if at all United is going forward for it, right now there is no news about it. Right now it's again still Ed Woodward at the helm. But I definitely feel that you need a footballing brain also at that level. with Ed Woodward, with seeing his past experiences, the kind of goof ups he has also made, especially with the likes of Alexis Sanchez, with some other hefty amounts which he has played for some of the players like Harry Maguire. I personally feel that a director of football should be from within the United ranks. It could be one of the staff members of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer himself, or perhaps some of the class of 92 could be taking up that role. But in terms of the current news right now, again, I think Manchester United is again making the same mistake of relying too heavily on Ed Woodward, because yes, Ed Woodward has a very good sense in terms of getting the sponsors in and getting the revenue out of the sponsors and stuff like that. But in terms of the transfer market, I think everybody has seen his weakness over there. He has actually shown that United tend to offer and pay a lot more for a player than any other club in England or perhaps anywhere else in Europe would pay. So, had United been three-time European champions back to back like a Real Madrid, I would have said that okay, yes, the stature is so big that you have to pay that much amount for a particular player. However, I don't see Ed Woodward has been doing too well in the transfer market. So I think that point which you made is absolutely right. They should target somebody, but as of what I know right now, they are again making the same mistake of really depending on Ed Woodward.
So let me come back to one of the beginning points which you made about the goalkeeping for Manchester United. They right now have one of the top best goalkeepers, top three I'll say among in England at least. Number one being De Gea, number two being the best number two in the world right now would be Sergio Romero, and obviously coming from the wings and the kind of performance which Dean Henderson gave for Sheffield United being on loan. So, what do you think? Will who is going to be leaving? Is anybody going to be leaving, like or De Gea falling onto the bench and Romero leaving, or Dino signing a new contract and going back on loan? Because what I believe, Sheffield United have just signed the Bournemouth goalkeeper. So, do you think there is? Yeah. So in this season, do you think Dean Henderson is going to stay for Manchester United and play number two, whereas he would be more happy playing as a number one for some other club? Or what are the insights you have on that?
Right. So it's a very good point which you made, and I think to talk about it, we need to look at the individual points quite carefully. Because if I talk about Dean Henderson and this news coming that Sheffield United is already going for another goalkeeper, so that doesn't really make much of a sense from a David De Gea leaving point of view, because there are no news of David De Gea leaving, and he's not. He's actually staying at United until his contract runs. However, his place would be definitely under threat, because Dean Henderson, after performing so well in Sheffield United, and also over the past one season, he has been playing day in and day out for them. I think he would be requiring a Premier League football, a regular Premier League football, and I think what United would be doing, and what I suspect them doing, is that they might offer him a better deal, so that they can prevent the likes of Chelsea, because we all know that Chelsea are also in the market for a goalkeeping position. So I think what United would be doing is that they would be offering him a better contract, because I really don't think that they will let Dean Henderson go, because this is the ultimate strategy over the past few months. If I talk about the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer regime, that he's always put forward the young English talents in front. And I think Dean Henderson is one for the future. Definitely, it's just a matter of when that happens. But I still think that he would perhaps be offered a better contract and then shipped out for loan. It could be to any other Premier League club. I think that would suit both Dean Henderson and Manchester United, because he will gain more experience into Premier League and also will help some other Premier League team. Could be the likes of top six, but I think that would be something Manchester United would be focusing on. Apart from that, I think David De Gea, I think, would be given one more season to prove his mettle, because I think in terms of what he has done for Manchester United over the past 6, 7, or 8 seasons, I think being a goalkeeper and being a man of the season performances, 3 season, 4 seasons back to back, I think that's really an achievement. So I think United will give David De Gea one more season to prove his mettle, But again, Sergio Romero definitely is the one for the cup competitions. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to learn from his mistakes when he has really not allowed Sergio Romero to show his skill set. But in terms of the next season, I really don't think that Dean Henderson would be uh, really vying for the first spot in Manchester United colors. So I think
All right.
that's for the future.
Okay.
And
So my final
yeah,
question
yeah.
before we wrap it up. So, sister, do you think will this whirlwind of transfers and the lack of transfers which have been happening, and also the inflated prices for just the Manchester United tag, I'll say, or the Manchester United club, when they go into the market, the prices do get inflated. So, what do you think? Will this transfer window will it change? Will Manchester United sign somebody, or is it going to be again a one-man show of Jadon Sancho from the beginning till the end, till the time you guys sign him? Or are there going to be any more incomings, outgoings, or rumors like you just mentioned? Are we going to see somebody new coming into Manchester United?
I think definitely we can see one or two or new players coming to Old Trafford. Will it be Jadon Sancho? It is still under a lot of scrutiny right now. It's a deadlock right now in terms of both the parties, until and unless Sancho himself tries to take some sort of a pay cut and tries to really go off the block and revolt against the Dortmund regime. I don't see that happening quite soon enough. However, United have also begun like looking at other options also, especially in the right wing side, because I think that's one glaring spot which they have also seen. I think that was something which most of the pundits had been saying for so many seasons now, even under Jose Mourinho, under Louis Van Gaal. Every time it was said that Manchester United doesn't have a right wing player. So I think we can expect one player, at least in the right wing position. It could be Jadon Sancho. It could be another top target. Could be from Juventus. Could be from Bayern Munich. And also I feel that the current sources have been saying that the midfield could also be strengthened a bit. So it could be that because there is a too much dependency on Bruno Fernandes. So I feel that in the coming few months we can see that there are maximum two players who can be signed by Manchester United.
All right. Thank you very much, sister. That's all for today,
Thanks,
folks.
sister.
And we'll catch you
Thanks, folks.
in the next episode where we pick up another club across London. And then sister and I are going to dissect their transfers. So have a good one. Have a great night. All of you. See you. Bye
See
bye.
you. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, sister, again.
Thank
Catch
you.
you
Bye bye.
again. Bye.
Bye bye.